Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and today we're going to talk about modern performance. We're going to look at my 993 Turbo that you see here and see how that compares with a modern car. Remember, if you like these kind of videos, hit the subscribe button. Like and share these videos so our channel can grow. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next video. I post 3 videos a week, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern. And remember to always leave positive comments below. I actually read each and every comment and I will respond to it. Also, get your Glenn's Car Collection merchandise. Shop our store below the description below, and any proceeds from that goes directly back into the channel. All right, so one of my favorite cars I've ever owned is my Porsche 993 Turbo. And when this car came out in 1996, and model year 1996, and that's the year mine is, it was one of the fastest cars out there. Remember, the Ferrari F50 didn't come out to model year 1997, so this was a year before that. So it was the first Porsche Turbo to have twin turbos. Now they all have twin turbos. All-wheel drive. Now they all have all-wheel drive. And to be 400 horsepower. European horsepower is slightly over 400 in the United States, the way we measure horsepower, which is slightly different. It was 400 horsepower. Good thing about the transmission, you only had one choice, and that was a 6-speed manual. And this car is just such a versatile car and a blast to drive. So this car was the first production car, or one of the first production cars you could walk on the showroom floor and buy that was under 0 to 60. That card's just started back up. 0 to 60 less than 4 seconds. It had a 0 to 60 time of 3.8 seconds. Some got 4.0, some got 3.9, some car magazines got 3.7, but I averaged all my old car magazines and it was 3.8 seconds 0 to 60, which was unheard of in 1996. Especially 400 horsepower. How many cars had 400 horsepower? The Dodge Viper, and that did not have a 0 to 60 time of 3.8 seconds. And what helped it out was all-wheel drive. So just give you a real quick Porsche history lesson, and then we'll see what this performance compares to in a 2020 car, where you can get the exact same performance as this. So Porsche turbos, turbochargers we use in airplanes. Porsche put them in the mid 70s. They put it in the 911, and those cars had a ton of turbo lag. It was a single turbo. It was rear wheel drive. So when it was a quick car in the 5 to 6 second range, which was fast back then in the mid to late 70s. It was a fast car when the turbocharger actually hit. But they used to call them widowmakers because if the turbo ever kicked in while you were on the turn, with the engine in the back, people would spin out, and there were a couple famous fatalities from that, so they earned the nickname widowmaker. So it was always staying rear-wheel drive and single turbo. So even the 964s, the bad boy cars, the 964 turbo was still a single turbo rear drive. It looked gorgeous, but it still had that terrible turbo lag. So the 993 turbo was actually game changer. You had the air-cooled cars, obviously, and now you had actually all-wheel drive, twin turbo, and 400 horsepower, and one of the fastest cars you can buy off the showroom floor, 3.8 seconds to 60. Now, they didn't make many 993 turbos. They made, around in the United States, the production was about 2,000 total. They were made in model year 96 and 97, about 1,300 in 96, like mine, and in about 700 in 1997, so roughly 2,000 examples. And in the 5 or 6 years I've owned this car, I think the maintenance cost me about $800. They're pretty simple, easy to work on. I bought a car that already had rebuilt turbos. I bought a car that already had a new clutch, brakes, and tires, and those are your biggest expenses, because the air-cooled cars are pretty simple. You can probably work on them yourself. My car had suspension. The problem with the air-cooled cars and buying them now is they're going to have very tired suspensions. They're going to have a suspension that's 20-something years old, and it feels that way. I drove a couple 993s that weren't turbos, and it just didn't do it for me. They're not fast. I mean, they're fun to drive and they sound great, no doubt, but they didn't have the visceral performance I want, and the turbo did. So back when I bought mine in 2013, I think, or 2014, I think it was 2013, but they were dirt cheap. They were in the 50s or 60s. A great one was probably about $80,000. The $80,000 one back then is probably about $200,000 now. So the air-cooled market, probably jumped around 2015 or so. I remember I hadn't had mine long, and it basically went from 60,000 to 100,000, 120,000. And what happened was, it's a great car. It's a rare. People finally recognize these. I drove it back to back with a 997 turbo when I bought this back in the day, and I paid what was market back then, which is dirt cheap compared to now. And I just thought it was way more visceral than the 997 Turbo. The 997 Turbo, which we're calling a visceral car now, and those prices are going up. The 997 Turbo felt so electronic to this car. It just, you just kind of stomp and steer with your foot. You don't really, where the 993 Turbo, you really had to drive it. There's no traction control, no stability control. You don't need coffee. I've taken that on, back roads drives, and oh my God, your heart's pounding the whole time, in a good way. But because it's not electronic, you definitely need a lot of skill to drive it fast. So if you're more of a novice driver or haven't really had a sports car, it might not be the best place to start. I've been driving sports cars my whole life. I had a lot of track experience and autocross, so I knew how to handle that car. And it rewards good driving skill. If you're a good driver, you're going to love it. So that begs the question. Here we go, 1996, one of the fastest cars you can buy. And it's an expensive car. It's $100,000. So Porsche didn't go crazy with options back in those years. So my car has a sticker of about $104,000. I've seen 108, 102 in that range. There wasn't much optional, even though you have the options on under the front hood. Obviously the engine's in the back. That shows you there's options. There's not much. It's not like today where you can't get the standard wheels or the standard steering wheel, and you need leather covered vents and pinstriping and special interiors and all that other stuff. So it kind of, base price was very close to what the prices were with options. So totally different. So here, let's recap. 1996, $100,000 was a lot of money in 1996. That's probably $200,000 today. Who knows? Which is what turbos cost nowadays. And you had a car that was under 4 seconds to 60, 400 horsepower, limited edition. They weren't just buying and selling as many as they could make, and for $100,000. So now I'm going to tell you what car is exactly the same performance of this car, costs not half as much, but 40% less. And so the car that I'm going to give you now is a 2020 car that's all-wheel drive, that has a base price of about $60,000. You can probably get it well equipped for $67,000 with almost every single option. It's all-wheel drive, has the same 0 to 60 time of 3.8 seconds. Now tested, not claimed by the manufacturer, because we know some manufacturers give conservative 0 to 60 times that you can beat. And the car that equals the 996 in performance, not in visceral driving experience in any way, is this car, my M340i xDrive. So I can't believe it actually has the same performance and feels just as fast as my 993 Turbo. Is it, would you pick this for a mountain drive on a Sunday morning, or the 993 Turbo? Not even close, but I just wanted to show you in 24 years how a daily driver now, for 40% less than the 993 Turbo cost in 1996, and again, a quarter of the price of what a new Turbo cost, you can get the same 996 performance in this car, and you can carry, 4 of your friends with you. And you can drive it in the winter with the all-wheel drive, and you could, you got Apple CarPlay, and you got good air conditioning and all these other things. So it's amazing how much technology has actually come in 20 years. Who knows, 20 years from now, we may have 1.9 second electric daily drivers or something like that. And we probably will, honestly. So let me know in the comments below. Tell me which car you would choose. I know which one you would choose. What other cars do you think give fantastic performance now compared to a previous car in the back? I mean, who knows, like BMW 3 Series would be fast as a 993 Turbo, the last of the air-cooled, right? But we already have that. And some cars you can buy now already exceed that, may have a 3.5 second 0 to 60 time, like my Audi S8 did. So let me know in the comments below what kind of videos you'd like to see. Let me know which of these two cars you would choose, obviously. Let me know some other comparisons that you think between old cars and new cars, how they've gone from now. And remember to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell and leave your comments below. Thanks again, guys, and I will see you next time.